military seized disputed island in the South China Sea as the Philippines and Australia joined bar drills. Over the weekend, US, Australia, and Philippines forced conducted a joint wargame smelting the retaching of an island in the South China Sea. The brazen signaling comes after China up to it in a South China Sea. The US armed forces are underscoring that the Chinese aggression, including using water cannon against the Philippines vessel, needs to be challenged and check what is happening. As the three countries' forces are undertaking a joint exercise, the commander of a US Navy 7th the Fleet barged in the Philippines and met with a Vice Admiral Alberto Carlos, head of the Philippines Western Command overseeing the South China Sea. Vice Admiral Carl Thomas told returns, "You have to challenge people. I would say overtaking in a gray zone when they are talking a little bit more and more pushing you have got to push back. You have to sail, you have to operate. The 7th Fleet of US Navy, headquartered in Japan, is the largest of the forward deployed fleet. It operates as many as 70 ships, 150 aircraft, and 27,000 sailors. It covers an area of 124 million square kilometers from base in Japan, South Korea, Singapore. More than 2,000 Australian and Philippines defense personnel and US Marines are participating in the war games that incorporate amphibians, landing, and air assault drills. Two Australian Navy vessels, HMAS Canberra, HMAS Anzac, and Philippines Navy are also participating in exercise. The drill will occur in a different training locations in the Northern Luzon Command and the Western Command from August 14 to 31. The war game involved troops arriving in amphibian assault vehicle by parachute and on boards US Osprey aircraft to storm a beach. Two advanced Australian F-35 fighter jets provided close air support, and Australian warship secured the surrounding waters. Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles is observing the drills with Filipino President Ferdinand Marcos. J.R. Marles, who has pledged to start joint marine patrols in the heavily South China Sea, contested South China Sea in a significant pushback to China. It is important aspect of how we prepare for any eventualities, considering there have been so many events that attest to the volatility of the region. Filipino President Marcos said. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will visit the island nation in September. Will maritime issue, defense and security on agenda. In 2016, the International Tribunal in the Hague declared the nine-dash line invalid and a violation of UN Convention on a Law of Sea. UNCLOS China, refusing to accept the ruling, continued militarizing the island, and its militia continue to harass the Philippines vessels. While Manila has UNCLOS on its side, its military weaknesses in the face of the formidable foe has not gone unnoticed. That is why the Marcos administration, since taking office in June 2022, has been fortifying its defense and strategic tie with the US, Australia, Japan, and India, Quad countries. During his US visit in May, Marcos and US President Joe Biden agreed to new guidelines on the country's 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. The US retreated that it would aid the Philippines in the event of an attack on its anywhere in the South China Sea. The guidelines also acknowledged the threat posed by grey zone tactics employed by China. In return, the Philippines agreed to add four more military bases that the US could access, sticking to its commitment as US Navy plane flew overhead as to Philippines. Boats breached a Chinese Coast Guard blockade to replenish food and other supplies to its force guarding a contested shore. While the Filipino government was dealing with the US, it was also strengthening its tie with Australia also, which has commercial and strategic interests in the South China Sea. Australia and the Philippines in May elevated their relationship to a strategic partnership after the water cannon incident. Australia, Japan, and Philippines conducted joint patrolling in the South China Sea. The US Navy could not join the plant. The Philippines has also signed an unprecedented memorandum of the understanding with the Indian Coast Guard that will, besides other things, include sharing information in the Indo Pacific. The Philippines is also modernizing its armed forces. It has placed an order for supersonic cruise missile BrahMos. It is also scouting for its first submarine and has shown interest in the Indian made advanced light helicopter Mk 3 and Indian